This is News Channel 20 at 6.
Good evening. 161 days ago, lawmakers were sworn into the General Assembly here in Springfield. Their chief task, passing the state's next budget to keep agencies up and running and providing services throughout the land of Lincoln.
But now, with just hours left before Illinois' current budget expires, it looks like the state will enter its new fiscal year without a new budget in place. It was back on January 14th when the 99th General Assembly was sworn in. Months of negotiations between Democrats and Republicans failed to produce a budget deal, as Governor Bruce Rauner proposed billions of dollars worth of cuts in services to balance the budget, and Democrats look to increase revenue to preserve those services. Well, on May 26, just 5 days before session was supposed to end, Democratic lawmakers sent Governor Rauner a budget plan to fully fund those services, but with a multi-billion-dollar deficit. Governor Rauner approved a plan that would increase funding to school districts for the first time in years last Wednesday, but vetoed the rest of the budget the very next day. For now, lawmakers will be in what's called continuous session until a budget deal is reached. News Channel 20's State House reporter Jordan Abadea live at the Capitol now with where Illinois and its residents can expect to go from here.
At one point, the Speaker staff
Stacey, the House just adjourned a few minutes ago. They spent the entire day in a committee of the whole hearing from people who would be impacted by a government shutdown. They also were supposed to hear from agency directors about their plans for that shutdown, but those directors never showed up. Meanwhile, as all of this was happening, the Democrats announced that they will put in place a bill tomorrow that they plan to vote on that is a temporary budget. They're calling it an essential services budget. Democrats are working on a $2.2 billion temporary budget to fund what they call essential state services. That measure has 13 different state agencies getting money for things like programs for the elderly, Medicaid, treatment services for the mentally ill, and addiction treatment. Speaker Madigan says the temporary budget would take care of the most needy while allowing more lawmakers more time to negotiate.
The purpose here is to provide that we would avoid the government shutdown. So there were plenty of opportunities to avoid the government shutdown. The governor could have used his powers under the Constitution to refashion that budget. They have an opportunity to vote on this essential services budget tomorrow, which would keep the government open, keep the government functioning.
We asked the governor's office today what he would do with a temporary budget. They referred us to a previous statement reading, quote, an unbalanced short-term budget with no real reforms is still a phony budget and unacceptable to the people of Illinois. If Speaker Madigan and the legislators he controls have any interest in real reform and compromise to grow the economy and an era of wasteful spending and broken budgets. Now, the governor's office says it's also important to note that they haven't seen this budget. They don't know what it looks like. But today, the speaker says that he has heard that some Republicans might even vote for that temporary budget tomorrow. Live at the Capitol, Jordan Abadea, News Channel 20.
Now, those state agency heads are not the only people who are a no-show at the State House today. For the second time in 2 weeks, House Democrats were asking the governor's office to testify on how much his staffers make. And for the second time in 2 weeks, the governor's office didn't show up. Representative John Bradley, a Democrat from Marion, charged Rauner's office last week with spending $1 million more on staff than predecessor Pat Quinn. While the governor's office was a no-show today, it didn't send Bradley a letter calling his numbers inaccurate. This caused a brief dispute between Democrats and Republicans.
If you don't respect this institution, the House of the people, how can you ever expect to get done what needs to get done?
It's my understanding that we, as the minority party, have not yet seen a copy of whatever numbers you are using to say that the governor's office is wrong.
Rauner's team also told Bradley they hope House Democrats will return to the negotiating table for the state budget. Bradley says he will continue to ask the governor's office to testify on the staffers' salaries.
In tonight's Crime Watch, investigators tried to figure out if a crime was committed in Montgomery County when a woman stabbed and killed her boyfriend. It happened Monday night in Witt, south of Nokomis on Route 16. News Channel 20's Lindsay Hess joins us in studio now with why the woman says she did it and the unusual spot she was found after it happened.
The Montgomery County Undersheriff tells us around 8 o'clock last night, the county's 911 service received a call that a woman was injured at Witt City Hall, screaming and covered in blood. 23-year-old Christy Stevens says her boyfriend, 41-year-old Richard Green attacked her at their home in the 200 block of Mitchell Street. She says she stabbed Green once to protect herself and her 2-year-old child. Green was pronounced dead just after 8 p.m.
There had been reports by the city police of Witt of other incidents there between those two and domestic relationship.
Investigators say Stevens spent the night at Hillsborough Area Hospital. She was released this morning. The child was not hurt. So far, no charges have been filed. Coming up tonight on News Channel 20 at 10, hear from a Witt resident who says she saw Stevens last night moments after Stevens says she fought for her life. Back to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. Mayor Jim Langfelder has tabbed a familiar face as Springfield's next police chief. The mayor announcing today current chief Kenny Winslow will retain the job. Winslow has been with the department since 1995 and the chief since February of 2014. That after Robert Williams retired amid the internal affairs shredding scandal. Winslow says he'll be focusing on minority hiring and community policing.
The biggest thing for us right now is, last summer with everything that happened down in Ferguson, it brought a lot of stuff to the forefront, and it made us look and see what we had been doing and what we could definitely do better.
Winslow says for now he plans to meet with businesses and residents to look into where community relations could be improved. And make sure to join us tomorrow morning on News Channel 20 Sunrise as we sit down live with new Chief Kenny Winslow as well as Mayor Jim Langfelder to talk about the direction of the police department. Again, that live interview tomorrow morning on News Channel 20 Sunrise in 6:30.
New at 6, improving communication and trust with the African American community. It's been a major focus for the Decatur Police Department. Well, their latest efforts include working with the NAACP Decatur branch to form a response team. It's called Area Leaders and Educators, or ALERT. The group includes 12 black leaders in Decatur schools, churches, and neighborhoods. They will be on hand to deal with major issues between law enforcement and the African American community. The police department is hopeful this will be the start to building trust and developing an open dialogue.
I could tell them why the police officer had contact with this person, what type of use of force was used on the person, whether we're investigating internally or externally. Get that information put out to the public so no one's wondering what's going on inside the building here at the police department.
Decatur Police Chief Brad Sweeney and the local NAACP President Janelle Norman says the idea of the alert response team, it started back in January after Norman questioned how the department planned to handle high-profile cases.
Well, a very good Tuesday evening, Central Illinois. I'm Storm Team 20 meteorologist Joe Crane. Yeah, we've enjoyed a good amount of sunshine here this afternoon around these parts. There's the live view across the capital city, courtesy of the Prairie Heart Institute Tower Cam. But you didn't think we could avoid the rain altogether on this final day of June, did you? Late this afternoon, a little line of isolated showers and thunderstorms bubbled up just to the south of Lincoln, over toward east central Illinois. The first little cell just southeast of Lincoln is pretty much dissipated already. But we are still seeing some scattered showers into east central and southeastern Illinois. Seeing a line of showers and storms around the Mattoon and Charleston area pushing their way to the southeast at the moment. Eventually, as we go through the night, we'll see things quiet down with increasing clouds toward daybreak and better chance of scattered showers and storms tomorrow. Coming up, we'll let you know if the rain hangs around for your 4th of July weekend, all right here on News Channel 20 at 6.
And as you try to stay dry this summer, you can count on News Channel 20 to have the latest weather forecasts. You can find them anytime on our website, newschannel20.com. You can also like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Still ahead, the measure laid out by President Obama today that could make it easier for employees to get overtime pay, and why small businesses say it's not a good idea.
Plus, lawmakers at the Capitol honor Springfield's own NBA MVP. Donnie Tillman has more on the resolution to celebrate Andre Iguodala's accomplishments coming up in sports.
And got tips? The Waste Watch team is ready to investigate. Send your ideas to wastewatch@wics.com. You're watching News Channel 20 at 6. We're back in a moment.
Memorial Medical Center Heart and Vascular Services Tower Cam, overlooking Lake Springfield.
Welcome back. President Obama announcing today a plan that would make it easier for hourly employees to earn overtime pay.
The proposal could affect more than 5 million workers nationwide. News Channel 20's Brendan Cullerton here now with what that means for Springfield and how it could change the job market. Brendan?
The overtime threshold hasn't been raised since the 70s, but it would increase to $50,000 a year. That's if the president has his way. The average Springfield household is under that mark at about $49,000 a year, but small business owners say the rule could hurt those it's trying to help. President Obama says increasing the overtime threshold is long overdue and will help middle-class Americans get paid for their work. But the National Federation of Independent Businesses says the move will hurt small business owners.
When government intervenes and tells small business owners what they have to do, this minimum wage, paid sick leave, again, while they all sound like great things, there's only so much money to go around.
Kim Maish with NFIB says the proposal would force businesses to make other cuts that would offset the benefit of more pay.
In terms of where they might cut back on hours, they might lay people off, they might just not fill that position that's open. They themselves, as the owners, might work even more than they're already working.
Dean of the UIS College of Business, Ronald McNeil, says he thinks businesses will make adjustments to avoid shelling out overtime pay, but the proposal could have other benefits with businesses reallocating those hours.
So it may not help that segment it was designed to help as much, but it may help another group even more, people that don't have a job to be part-time, people that are working not fully employed at 40 hours a week to get 10 additional hours.
But McNeil says all predictions right now are just speculation.
You have those that say the companies are going broke. You have those that say, oh, well, this is great, we'll make more money. Then you have those that say, okay, we're going to adjust this way, part-time, hire more people.
And he says it would probably take a full year with the plan in effect to more accurately judge its impact. The president's proposal would be a rule change, meaning he would not need congressional support to enforce it. The Department of Labor estimates the measure would make almost half of salaried Americans eligible for overtime instead of the less than 10% it is now. Back to you.
Thank you, Brendan. As we head to break, we take a live look of the capital city. Sunshine streaming down after a very pleasant day, but there are some rain chances in the forecast before we get to what could be a very nice weekend. Joe's in next with the forecast, but first, here are today's closing market numbers.
Your Storm Team 20 weather with meteorologist Joe Crane.
Thank you, Johnny. A live look across the capital city, courtesy of the Prairie Heart Institute Tower Cam. We've enjoyed a decent amount of sunshine today, and tonight Jupiter and Venus will culminate a month-long dance with what astronomers say will be a dazzling display in the nighttime sky, appearing just a fraction of a degree apart from one another in the night sky, despite the fact that in reality they're millions of miles apart in space, a show that some astronomers say could account for the Star of Bethlehem mentioned in the Bible. These two planets won't be aligned up like this again until 2023. So hopefully tonight the skies will stay clear enough around 9-10 o'clock tonight so you can look to the west-northwest shortly after sunset to see what promises to be a dazzling display. But again, clouds, the big question mark for later tonight. I know Adam Wright's going to stay up and watch it, right? Yeah, always do. All right, why sleep indeed. The temperatures now in the upper 70s to low 80s, 80 right now in Champaign and Decatur. 69 down to 69 in Mattoon where they're seeing that rain shower, 82 in Effingham, 82 as well in Lincoln, 80 now in Jacksonville. We have 83 degrees officially in the capital city after a high that topped out at 85, just 1 degree shy of the normal high of 86, but well short of the record high of 102 going all the way back to 1931. It's been a little bit on the muggy side as well, upper 60s to low 70s in parts, but at least we've had generally some winds picking up to about 10 to 15 miles per hour to moderate the influence of that higher heat and humidity, relatively speaking, for some folks here this afternoon as winds continue to pick up to about 9, 10, upwards of 12 miles per hour. Cold front heading our way. That's going to be the focus for increased chances of showers and storms coming our way tomorrow. Of course, we had a good amount of sunshine around the area today, but you didn't think we'd avoid the raindrops altogether, did you? Well, satellite radar at the local level showing a line of isolated showers and thunderstorms popping up here in the last hour and a half to 2 hours just to the southeast of Lincoln. That cell pretty much falling apart, but we're still seeing an active cell where that temperature's dropped down to 69 degrees in Mattoon. Those showers and storms in the vicinity of Charleston, Mattoon, pushing to the southeast toward the Interstate 70 corridor into southeastern Illinois as we speak. Forecast model for the rest of the night, maybe a spotty shower here this evening. Clouds a big question mark here as we get to around 9-10 o'clock tonight to be able to see Jupiter and Venus lined up in that stellar intergalactic display. And then we'll see increasing clouds overnight, perhaps tomorrow morning, some rain showers to the west of Springfield. And as we go through the day and that frontal boundary comes through, we'll see increasing chances of scattered showers and thunderstorms into the afternoon and early evening hours. We'll continue to see some rain chances tomorrow night, but primarily southward as that frontal boundary works its way towards southern Illinois. No severe weather expected tomorrow. That risk will be marginal for locations along and south of I-72. Most of us will see rainfall totals maybe a 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch, but can't rule out a locally heavy downpour with some of the stronger storms. Early morning clouds on Thursday then make way for a decent amount of sunshine on Thursday. For now, though, increasing clouds tonight, maybe some patchy fog overnight with a low of 65. Scattered showers and storms tomorrow. We'll see that high up to 77, and then temperatures slowly climb as we head toward the holiday weekend. Sunshine Thursday afternoon, and other than an isolated shower chance on Friday, we'll generally see quiet weather into the start of the weekend with partly to mostly sunny skies, and then better rain chances coming our way Sunday into Monday as temperatures warm back to the mid-80s.
Okay, I think a lot of people enjoying seeing that sun on Saturday as we get to the 4th of July.
Yeah, and more importantly, hopefully clear to partly cloudy skies by Saturday night for all the red, white, and boom lighting up the sky.
Love it. Okay,
Yes.
thanks. Let's head over to Adam and Donnie.
Thanks, guys. Sports Director Donnie Tillman joining us now. Star of David in the Sky, our own star here on the ground. A special day at the nation's capital honoring an NBA champion.
Yeah, that's right. Springfield's own Andre Iguodala recognized for his accomplishments on the floor. That story and more next in sports.
Now, sports with Donnie Tillman.
Good evening, everyone. Now that the summer is in full swing, it's a great time for the Fighting Illini basketball team to put in the extra work necessary for the upcoming season. Illinois guard Malcolm Hill once talked about the adjustment of getting used to the college game. Now, as a junior, Hill is an upperclassman observing the younger players in workouts this offseason. And now a veteran at this level, Hill has offered his advice to the new guys as a whole. Him and Hill and head coach John Gross, I should say, like what they have seen so far from the upcoming roster.
The new guys, they have a lot of heart. You know, they're real confident in their games. Of course, they don't really know the system that much. They do some over, you know, some stuff that's like overboard a little bit. But I mean, that's part of being young, being a freshman. You know, I try to tell them, you know, whenever they get down, like I had a lot of freshman year struggles. I try to remind them to keep their head up. I think that we got a really talented group, though.
I like what I see. The biggest thing I like is for, you know, we've had a lot of guys come back early in between the spring semester and the summer. We've had some guys do that in the past, but not this many.
NBA hoops now. As the NBA free agency period begins at midnight, the Chicago Bulls want to make sure that their all-star guard is in-house come next season. And no, I am not referring to Derrick Rose. The Bulls have offered Jimmy Butler a max deal, 5 years worth $90 million. Since receiving the offer, Butler has postponed meetings with several other NBA teams. It is a sad day for Chicago Blackhawks fans. This afternoon, the Hawks parted ways with 22-year-old rising star Brandon Saad. Chicago deals him and 2 other players to Columbus as part of a 7-player swap. Saad was thought to be a priority to re-sign this offseason. Other basketball news, NBA champion and finals MVP Andre Iguodala was recognized at the state capitol today. State Representative Sue Shearer presented a resolution to honor the Golden State Warriors forward for his accomplishments. Andre's mother and her husband were on hand for the presentation. Iguodala and the Warriors won the title 2 weeks ago, defeating the Cleveland Cavaliers in 6 games. Today, state officials pleased to honor one of the Capitol's own for his crowning achievement.
Andre Iguodala was named the NBA Finals Most Valuable Player, the first NBA champion, and NBA Finals MVP right here from Springfield, Illinois.
Exciting.
It's not often you see a T-shirt in the State House, especially on deadline day, but certainly well earned there as mom's representing her son. Proud moment again.
And son's been very busy. He actually just got back from Paris. He went to the fashion show there. So
not bad, not
making
bad.
rounds.
Don't go away. Joe still has one last look at your Storm Team 20 forecast. Fingers crossed, a nice weekend coming up.
Yes.
Yeah,
we
so
just got to get through one more day.
Just got to get through tomorrow. The first day of July going to start out just like the month of June. That is with some scattered shower, thunderstorm chances. Maybe an isolated shower or two on Friday. Otherwise, we look to stay dry Thursday, Friday into Saturday for the start of the 4th of July weekend. Should be a decent night Saturday night for all the red, white, and boom displays around the area. But then rain chances pick back up Sunday into Monday as temperatures warm to the mid-80s early next week.
Big party last weekend for you. Anything coming up this weekend, or are you laying low?
Laying low.
Yeah?
Ours got washed out, our party at the end.
Some recovery maybe this weekend.
Definitely.
I'll look for my invite in the mailbox.
For a second birthday party.
Mine too, don't worry, Dottie. That's our time. Thanks for watching. We'll see you right back here tonight at 10.